Let's go.
Dr. Rosie Milligan, one of the most sought-after speakers on the circuit today. Her live internet talk show, Express Yourself, is the most provocative, thought-provoking, and talked-about radio show on the internet. There's no holds barred, and Dr. Milligan puts the B in bold. She brings it every Tuesday live at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dr. Rosie has been proclaimed the most provocative female writer of the century. Her books include Satisfying the Black Man and Black Woman Sexually Made Simple, Why Black Men Choose White Women, and the book Nigga Please. These books have raised eyebrows across the country. She has authored 21 books and published 350 titles for authors nationwide. Check Dr. Rosie out at drrosie.com for her books, articles, and archives of her internet talk show. Sit at the feet of wisdom. Dr. Milligan is indeed a timekeeper and scorekeeper. She is the clock, calendar, and almanac for Black America. You need to hear her.
You'll listen to the Express Yourself Hour. I am your host, Dr. Rosie Milligan, coming to you live with nothing but straight talk. Yes, straight talk, folks. That's how we do it around here. Nothing but straight talk. We have a wonderful show for you today. I am so excited because this one, my guest today is someone I've known since she was a little girl, and now she's up telling me what to do and how to think. Telling me about my mind. Folks, this is exciting to bring to you. Today we have a great show. We're going to talk about actually the Hypnosis Unlocked.
Recording in progress.
Yes, we're going to talk about Hypnosis Unlocked, breaking the myth and reclaiming your mind. Breaking the myth. There's a lot of myths out here regarding hypnosis. Some people think, especially a lot of people in the religious arena, they think it's kind of the devil, is wicked. If God don't show you, you won't find it out. We got a whole lot of stuff going. But I think we're missing a very important segment of medical therapy that a lot of people have not tapped into. It's what is the old saying, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. A mind is a terrible thing not to understand how it works. And most people have never gotten into dealing with the subconscious and all that portion of their mind. They just say, I'm going to speak my mind. What is your mind? So we're going to have a great talk for you today, and I'm going to introduce my guest today. She's none other than Aminah Henderson. She's a certified master hypnotist, founder of Provide with Aminah LLC. She has a bachelor's degree in business administration. She's young, energetic, full of life, and she's ready to go out here and bring to us something that we have had all of these myths about. We're going to debunk some of those myths today and really help you to understand the importance of this form of therapy. Good morning, Aminah.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me. I'm very appreciative of this opportunity and to, like you said, share myths and information about this unconventional modality.
Wow, it's so interesting. When I see you, I think about my daughter when she first finished medical school. And she was, young, looking like you, like a little teenager. And the patient wanted to call her a nurse. They couldn't believe she was the doctor. And then they go, you a doctor? And one patient, she said, just burst out and started laughing. God, you a doctor?
Yep, surprise them, yep.
Well, I am so proud of you, and I'm so proud of you to bring this knowledge to us. I tell you, in this day and time, this hour, we need to look into every methodology possible to help us along this journey to be whole and to be sane and to be the best that we can be. We need to reach back and pull it all in. Don't run from it. We need to embrace it and see how it can work for us, because it has worked for so many. Now, I know particular in my community and our community, a lot of people have not embraced this. They think it's for the rich or it's for somebody else, but it is for everyone, and it can help them in so many ways. So let's start up let's explain to my audience, what is hypnosis and how does it work?
So, hypnosis is a natural, focused state of relaxation where your mind is open to positive suggestions. And what we call suggestions are ideas, new beliefs, new ways of thinking. And a lot of people think that it's mind control, and you're completely awake, aware of what's happening to you. I like to think of it in a way of your mind is separated in two parts. Our conscious mind, which takes about 10% of brain power. We call it the theory of mind. We love theories. And as well as the subconscious mind, which is about 90% of brain power. So in our subconscious mind lies where we analyze things, our decision making processes, and our willpower. And that's 10% of our brain power. Now, our subconscious is where our memories lie, our habits, our emotions, things that we've gathered along the way from our childhood to our experiences. And in between both the conscious and the subconscious mind is the critical mind. And the critical mind is like the gatekeeper. I like to think of it as a filter. So whenever a new idea comes into place or we're introduced to a new idea, a new way of thinking, our fight and flight response activates like, whoo, wait a minute. Like, how are we supposed to navigate this when I'm so used to doing A, B, and C? Even if it's a positive new way of thinking, it rejects it in some type of way, even if it's positive. So what hypnosis does, it in a way cleans out or rinses out those negative suggestions or those negative things that have protected us for so long, because that is what the fight and flight response does, is protects us. If somebody's running after us, what do? We have certain options. We either run or we either freeze. So that's how the mind works. So that's how hypnosis is a way of creating new ways of thinking so we can have our mind can be open to new ways of thinking so we can achieve whatever goal that we want to.
Wow. So we're looking at 90% is buried in the unconscious mind.
Yeah, so the 90% is our subconscious. That's where our
Subconscious.
and our conscious is where, we know, like, okay, if we are wanting to stop procrastinating, we know what to do. But subconscious, we're like, well, I'm kind of tired. I think I'm gonna rest a little bit and then I'm gonna get back to it because based of our experiences. So we have this battle where we're trying to navigate what should I do, but I'm going based off my experiences, if that makes sense.
Right, it does. So what hypnosis does is help you to actually sort out those things, to deal with a portion of the subconscious, that part
Correct.
that is rejecting and fighting against those things that your conscious mind recognize that you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Wow, wow. I can see how that can easily work. I really think it's important for people to really, even if you have to go through chat or whatever, really
Hmm.
understanding the conscious and the subconscious mind is so important, because when you understand that, you can understand why your children or why family members react
Yep.
in certain ways, because they tend to be operating more on the
Right.
subconscious, because that's what they have experienced all their life from birth until now. All that is layered
Hmm.
into the subconscious. So when you bring a new idea, something new to them, they're
It's,
kind of looking back at that back
yeah.
stuff. Well, this didn't work the last time. Now
Yeah.
you want me to do this? This
Yeah.
doesn't work. So I
Mm-mm.
guess it's like self-talk. Well, now
Yes.
what inspired you to get involved with this therapy?
That's actually one of my favorite questions being asked. Back in 2016, I was living in Little Rock, Arkansas. I had just graduated from Philander College. And I was living with a family member. I call him Cousin John. And while I was living there, I had experienced panic attacks. And if anyone out there that's listening, if you ever had a panic attack, they are no fun. My heart was racing. I would sweat. Sometimes it just would be hard to complete tasks because I was so frustrated with myself. Um, and cousin John suggested that I see a hypnotist to help with my panic attacks, and I thought that was weird because I'm like, you don't hear black people suggest seeing a hypnotist, and I was skeptical. I can say and be honest about um, having that fear because that's not something that you hear often. So I had learned that he used hypnosis to heal himself from nicotine addiction as well as alcohol addiction through hypnosis, through his field as being a DEA agent. A lot of people don't know that hypnosis, if you watch Forensic Files, a lot of shows show that they bring a hypnotist in to solve a crime. And I was amazed by that. I only heard negative things about it. So I went based off his suggestion, and I went and paid a hypnotist a visit. And I haven't had a panic attack in over 10 years just from that experience. And that encouraged me to learn more about hypnosis.
Wow. Wow. How many sessions did you have with the hypnotist?
So for my session, it was only one session, but with the session came along a recording. And the recording I always listened to whenever I would have a stressful time or just needed a uplift at that time. As a way, every time when I would go to sleep, I would listen to it as an act of reinforcement. So just using that one session and listening to the recording that I had from that session helped.
That's incredible. Now, what are some of the common misconceptions about hypnosis?
So a lot of people think that hypnosis is just some new health kick, but it's actually a practice that has been used for over thousands of years. The first group of people who used hypnosis were Egyptians. They didn't call it hypnosis, but they would have these temples where individuals will come into a temple, and they call them dream temples, and they gave it like giving you like a spa type of atmosphere to help people with chronic pains, any certain ailments that they needed help with healing, and they will go in there and feel relief from those the sessions that they had. And later on, this man decided by the name of Franz Mesmer. He is a German physician who coined the term hypnosis. And then many other people end up learning and wanting to use this modality as a way to help people. And doctors, as well as physicians, use hypnosis. It's actually recognized by three prominent organizations: the National Institute of Health, the Association of Psychological Associations, and as well as the Association of the Medical Associations. So if anybody who wants to be a dentist or is wanting to be help people and navigate as far as pain, medical anesthesia, some people are not able to take needles because they're probably recovering drug addicts, as well as people who are fearful of using needles. So a lot of dentists as well as doctors use that for chronic pain. So it's a practice that many doctors do use. Another misconception that people have is that you'll be under complete control over someone for your own common good. So it's like, if I want you to do something, it's for me. And that's not what it is. You're completely aware of what's happening to you. Some people can even talk in the state of hypnosis. You can say yes, no. We experience hypnosis on a daily basis. If we are going to the movies and we want to, we set the mood for the movies and we don't even know why. We go in with our popcorn and our Pepsis, but we don't realize when we're watching those infomercials, we see the popcorn just, going into, the box. You see how the Pepsi hits the ice, and it draws you in. It makes a person think, well, the movie's about to start. I need to go get some popcorn. That is a way of subliminal messages. That's hypnosis that we are always being absorbed into. And that is something that a lot of people don't understand, is that we are seeing it and noticing it every day.
Does medical insurance cover the expense for people who seeking that type of service?
In certain insurances, yes. I know as for me, I don't, but I know that depending on if you search a doctor and they practice hypnosis, you can find that information if you find that particular doctor.
Right.
Mm.
Let's take it when you think about our community, based on what we see, what we're observing, and the thing that's being experienced. How do you think that? Do you see hypnosis being something that could really benefit our community? And what about for children?
So, yes, I do think that hypnosis can benefit, especially in times that we're living in now. We see that there are over 300,000 women, Black women, who have lost their jobs being laid off. So you can only imagine the mindset of a lot of people, because it's a lot of uncertainty. Um, a lot of resources are being taken away from a lot of people, as we're witnessing now, as far as with SNAP, and just mental health in just general. There's a lot of generational trauma that a lot of, especially in our community, that we faced, starting from slavery. A lot of people don't realize how, being taken away from your home and having to endure such pain for so many years, that does take a toll on someone, on a group of people. So it could give a sense of clarity, as much as even the sense of just knowing that, having the self confidence that you can achieve things and not letting things hold you back from just your history. You could always change your story. It doesn't have to be just that. So I do feel that and know that hypnosis can be very beneficial, especially if you're wanting and willing to change. And as far as with children actually can benefit tremendously with it, because children are like sponges. Um, and I mentioned that in a way of going back to the theory of mind. When we look at uh, a time in our lives when you're a sponge. Even though we are learning, every day is a learning experience, but a child absorbs so much from their environment. They see things, especially with the phones that we have. Everything is such easy access. But children can gain so many benefits as far as just how to navigate with stress, because we are living through stressful times.
Right.
Parents are being stripped away from their parents in real time. um, Resources are being taken away from real time, so they're going through so many things. If their environment is in question, how can they navigate life even after their childhood? So they can learn many things in regards to learning how to navigate stress, how to cope with stress, and even recognizing good stress from bad stress, and there are a difference between the two.
Yeah. And I think most people really think that children particularly do not have stress, as if
Hmm.
they don't have feelings. But I think when we're thinking, you made me think about the fact that so many of our children in our community, there's a great number of them who are in foster homes. So,
Mm,
and I'm thinking about how hypnotic therapy could really benefit, uh, those with that type of experience. But that has to be some type of experience when you are taken away from your family. You're a kid, you don't know why. All you know, you look up and someone comes in the house in uniform and just take you from your parents. I
right.
think people never think about that type of trauma. We can
No.
think about the trauma when we were snatched away from the motherland, but
Yes.
that same experience,
It's
just
it's
listening
the
to you
same.
begin
Yeah.
to think that type of trauma. You look
Right.
up, you playing, and somebody knock on the door and grab you up and take you away from your parent, and then
Right.
you can't even see them sometime till you get grown or whatever. So that has to be embedded so deeply in that child's subconscious mind that everything in the present uh, probably
Yes.
draws back to that memory. Abandonment. I think that's why the,
Abandonment.
the stress of
It's been,
abandonment comes from
yes,
because
that's and that yes, and that's a thing that going back to when I mentioned about the theory of mind. The brain, that is an experience, that's a memory. So when we look back at the 90% of our brain power is our subconscious mind, and you're seeing this child who is a sponge soaking up all these things, then you look at their future. How if there's no therapy, being the traditional therapy, going to a therapist and talking, and say that is not there, that's not present, and they're moving through life with those experiences. So you can only imagine how that could come up as anger. Um, we see, people going, a lot of young men, even women having this anger built up in them, that we see people in the news with certain, crimes. So that's a thing that we look at when we, as far as a subconscious mindset, how we operate, and how if we have this abandonment issue, was it handled at that childhood level? Was it, then they start acting out as an adult, still in the mindset of as that child. So that's something, to look at.
and it even spills over in relationships. So
Right.
you can see how, when we talk about the marriage divorce rate among different ethnicities, sometimes we never tend to separate the line of differences. And that could have a lot to do with the trauma that African American has come through. It could, if you really trace it back, listen to what you're saying, I can see why it has a lot to do with the relationship breakup, uh, how we feel in marriage and relationship. That's a that's like a
Yeah.
burden
How
that
we
we're
communicate with one another.
yes, yes, based on our past. And some people think that past doesn't matter. They enter the new because they just bury it, and at some point in their life, whether it's on the job and relationship, it's going to come out somehow, and it can be detrimental. But I'm really excited about it, and I am definitely going to. I'm going to be one of your clients.
Yeah, well, I look forward to it, Dr. Milligan. I'm all open for it.
Yeah, I want to be one of your clients. I came up actually with the family. My father was reared in the South, and he gave everything, and I find to the detriment sometimes of myself that I've taken on what I've learned because he owned his own farm when a lot of people there in the country they were living on the white man's place. They were sharecroppers. So my dad had his own land, so he raised enough food and corn and watermelons, chickens and hogs and everything. He shared with the community. It was like what you look at now. What do we call these places? The food banks.
Yes.
My father's place was like a
It was a
food
food.
bank. It was a food bank that people could know they could always come and get some meat, get some milk. Christmas time,
So
they could
resourceful.
come and get eggs and butter and all this kind of stuff. So I grew up with that to reach out and to help people. So part of that is a it's in my
Yes,
subconscious
it
that you're
is.
supposed to do that. That's
Yes,
what you do.
you were taught. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, that's what you do.
And I've done it so much sometimes to the detriment of myself. Well, you got to help these people. I woke up this morning. I was telling my son, I said, I woke up last night and I said, and I really started thinking about this food stamp thing. It occurred to me that the homeless, that's all the only way they get food. And if they went to the
Right.
food bank, they wouldn't have any
This,
place to store it. And I'm trying to figure, what can I do? I'm coming to see you. I
I'm
think
here. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm ready.
I am because
That
we're
will
going.
make my day. I could
I
work with
am
Dr. Milligan.
definitely coming. You got to help me get over thinking that I need to help the world, okay? I'm not the savior. I have other questions. I think we want to stop right now and see if any of our guests may have a question for you. But I'm going to be your client. You're going to help me
I'm
get
excited.
over reaching out. You know what my kids, Mom, you going to give away our inheritance. We,
Now, yeah, we don't want that.
wow. I don't care what you're struggling with. If it's something that you know that you need to change and you can't do it on your own, really, it is so critical. Give me an example before I open the mic up too of some person or some behavior that you yourself have helped a person to overcome. Because I know we look at people who are alcoholic, people who are on different drugs, people who, yeah, smoke, weight gain, weight loss. Uh, just give me an example of someone that you've helped through hypnosis.
So I have helped as recently someone who I haven't had contact with in over about 15 years. Um, they reached out to me in regards to an eye twitch, and I wanted to know more information about eye because I have this. I've always learned, whenever somebody comes to you with something, you don't tell them no. I can't work with you because I never worked in that category. But I felt like it was a challenge for me because I was like, an eye twitch. That sounds fun. So come to find out that stress was a big part of her eye twitch. I can't get into details about it, but people can find her testimonial on my website. But stress was a big part of her eye twitch, and the eye twitch, for some reason, it lasted for a year, and it was. It's annoying. You're talking with people, and she said her eye was twitching, and it was to the point where it's just like, I want this twitch to go away. So we worked with each other in regards to inner childhood healing. There was a lot of subconscious feelings and emotions that she was holding on to that she needed to let go, and some things that she didn't realize was holding her back from obtaining a goal that she wanted to reach. And it wasn't even the eye twitch that was just the goal, like the end goal of it all. So we worked, had one session, and 2 months later, she reached out to me and told me that she doesn't have the eye twitch anymore. So I take that as a huge accomplishment too, to help someone with, people think that, oh, I'm just stressed out. My head is hurting. Some people have different body syndromes. That's what we call them, body syndromes, that our body reacts in a way when stress activates. So for her, it was her eye.
Wow. Any other smoke, weight
Uh,
loss?
yes, I yes, I have. I have worked with someone who was actually stationed out of the country. They were a member of the service. They had problems with smoking and wanted to stop smoking. They've been free from smoking for about 3 years now. Um, just turned 30 years old, and they were like, I really want to stop smoking, and I feel like it's running havoc on my life. My mom was actually my first client as a practice, as a student. As part of graduation, we have to gain at least 200 hours of practice hours as far as sessions. And my mom, she wanted to get off of diabetes medication. And I said, okay, we'll work on that. We worked with sleeping. Sleeping does have a part when it comes to weight, limiting certain things, not to say that she doesn't like to, have her treats and, her sweet things. So she's able to enjoy those things, but she knows how to navigate with what is it that I want and what I need. And, that is a big thing. So she got off of diabetes medication. After losing the weight and hasn't been on it for about three years now.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Now that's
Yeah.
what I call really doing it. Because a lot of times when you in certain practices, your family is the last one to have confidence in you
Oh,
doing,
yes.
especially someone young like you. It's kind of funny that here I am, 80 years old, gonna be sitting at the feet of babes trying to learn something, but I'm coming to you, okay? Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's so true.
That is absolutely incredible. Let me pause. If there's someone that have a question, feel free to open your mic. You can put something in the chat. And also, Mina, put your website in the chat for me, how they can reach out to you. Because I'm
Okay.
sure there's somebody on this line that has something they've been trying to deal with for a long time and didn't know how simple it was to really uh, to give it a try. You can't lose. You have nothing to lose. You have all to gain. And I think more people would be interested in your service if, once they hear this show and
Yeah.
understand what it's really like. It's not like somebody going to hypnotize you and you don't know what you're doing and
Mm-hmm.
they go in your bank account while they have you under spell.
And take all your money.
Yes, it's none of those things. Brenda, I know Brenda has something to say. I'm surprised Elaine is not on here today. Anyone that has a comment, uh, please feel free to open your mic. We do have the expert in the house, you guys. We have the expert in the house today.
Good
None
morning.
other than Aminah. She put her information in the chat.
Okay.
Okay, I think
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Miss Dolores.
Uh, I have a situation with both of my hands, which the doctors cannot figure out. I do have carpal tunnel, but for some reason, for the last 6 months, all 10 of my fingers are totally numb. I have no feeling in them whatsoever. And they cannot figure out where it comes from or what it's about. So they have referred me to acupuncture. Okay.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
I go today for the first time for the acupuncture appointment. So that's why I was listening to this, wondering if hypnosis will stop this because like right now, they hurt 24 hours, 7 days a week. My tips of my fingers are constantly hurting. Okay. And if I touch them, they're totally numb. They have no feeling whatsoever, and it's painful for me to even touch. It's hard for me to tell when I'm holding anything because I have no feeling. I know I'm holding it because I can see it.
Are,
Okay.
are you
Right.
diabetic, Dolores?
No,
Wow, okay.
it's carpal tunnel,
Hmm.
and they have ran all kind of nerve tests in my hands, and they know I have severe carpal tunnel. But they said surgery wouldn't even do it because the numbness is something they've never experienced.
Wow.
Wow.
Nobody's ever had numb fingertips like I have. And it's just really weird. Like when I run my fingers together, they feel really, really weird. I can't really feel it. It's hard to describe. It's
How
like
long you
pins
had
going
that?
in. Since October of last year, so I've been a year now.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just thought about it. It's been a year. Yeah, because it
Yeah, that's
started
a
like
long time.
October, November, and they've ran all kind of tests and stuff. And I've been to finger doctors, hand doctors, two different carpal tunnel doctors. So now they're saying go to acupuncture and see if
Well,
that
I would
works.
love to talk with you a little bit more about it,
Okay.
even after your appointment today, because I know that's an uncomfortable feeling,
It
especially
is
having
very,
some type of relief, and
yeah.
it's frustrating, especially just wanting to complete tasks and
And they cramp. They get in
yeah,
cramps and cramp up when my fingers are stuck together and everything. Especially like when I try to cut up food and I be cutting the food or using, they start cramping, fingers stuck together. I can't move them. And then it's starting to go up in my arm where my arm is cramping really bad.
Dolores, have you seen a vascular specialist?
I don't think so. They've sent me to, like I said, hand and finger doctors and stuff like that. Okay, because they know it. They say it's carpal tunnel, which I do have carpal tunnel, had it for years. But this right here, they just don't know what causing the numbness in the fingers, and it's all 10. It started with the middle finger on the left hand, and then it moved to all 10.
We're gonna talk to. Let's
I
see,
put my
Cookie.
number in the chat. I did put
Yeah,
my
I'm
number in
writing
the
it
chat.
down.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Cookie, you need to. Okay, thank you. Simone has a hand up. Simone, and then we're coming to you, Lori.
Good morning.
Good
How are
morning.
you?
Good morning.
Wonderful.
Thank you for coming on the show. You're teaching us so much. I've never really known a whole lot about hypnosis, so thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. I have about 3 questions. My
Okay.
questions are, how does your practice mesh with like religion and Christianity, and does it is it aligned? Is it separate? What is your thoughts on that? And then also, like, in your opinion, how would this help with things like depression or people who have been adopted or, things like that? And my third question is about how much would something like this cost? Thank you.
Okay, Simone. Thank you for joining.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.
Amina, let's see what happened. Okay, while she's coming back, let's see if we lost her. Doo-doo. Okay. Meanwhile, those were good questions. I'm going to write them all down. You want to know how does it help with depression, right?
Yes,
And abandonment issues,
especially in people who may have been adopted.
adopted kids. And what was the other one?
How does hypnosis align with Christianity, if at all?
Okay, that's a good one because there's a lot of Christian people think that it's of the devil. So we're going to see what's happening, getting Amina back on here. Meanwhile, we're getting her back on here. Give me the other question. I think Laura had a question. At least I can write that down. Laura, you had a question?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Milligan. I've had some experience with hypnosis, but I did it myself. But it was something that
Lights. I think in the neighborhood the lights had went out, so I'm going on my phone.
Hold,
oh,
hold 1 second. She's going to come in on her
okay,
phone. The lights went out in the
yeah,
whole community for her.
okay, okay.
Okay. Jamal, she's going to come in on her phone. Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, no problem. As the old folks say, ain't the devil busy?
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, go ahead, Laura. I'm writing your question down.
Okay, so I was just saying how I've engaged with some hypnosis myself, and it really helped me get through healing childhood abuse. But I'm finding myself now at another kind of transformational place in my life. And I've come to the conclusion that I'm holding a lot of emotions in my body. And I guess that's my question. And I'm pretty sure she works with that. But I think it's manifested itself in my weight. And so I'm ready to get through this part because I feel like this is kind of the last hurdle of my self-work and my self-healing and all that. So I'm definitely interested. I want to know also, what does a session typically look like?
Okay.
What will
Amina,
I
I
be
think you're
experiencing?
back, but you're muted. I think she's back.
Okay, sorry about that. But I think the devil is busy. That's what it is.
Let me give you the questions, Amina, that came.
Okay.
one of the questions was, Mr. Washington Simone wanted to know, how does hypnosis help with depression, people who are suffering, I guess,
Hmm.
with anxiety from being adopted, and what was the other one, Simone?
The
How does,
The
religious
yes.
with the
religious, yeah,
religion.
right. And
Yes.
then we're gonna come back to you, Lori.
So as far as when it comes to religion, that's another thing when it comes to misconceptions. Because of how Hollywood has portrayed hypnosis, there's a difference between brainwashing and hypnosis. Brainwashing is to control an individual for their own personal gain. So that's one thing. Hypnosis, when I mentioned it, is a natural state of focus relaxation. So both the two aren't they're different. And just as it has no ties to religion in no type of way, and people, when we use like prayer or meditation, relaxation, we have that same focus as we do in hypnosis. So it's really just to have that mindset of focusing, deep focus. When we pray, we're focused. We are receiving a message. We're wanting to gain clarity. That's the same mindset that hypnosis is. We want to gain more clarity. We want to get new ideas and new ways of thinking. There, in no way, shape, or form is religion and will interfere with your religion in any type of way. If anything, it'll bring you closer to your faith.
Okay. And
Um, I hope
depression.
that answers.
So
And
hypnosis
as far
does
as with
work in
depression,
depression.
yes, it does. Many people have used hypnosis for depression and anxiety. People, I'll give an example. Our former First Lady, Jackie Kennedy, used hypnosis after the death of her husband, President Kennedy. You can only imagine experiencing something so traumatic, such as losing and witnessing the death of your husband in real time. She actually, and you could Google it too. She used hypnosis to reduce depression as well as trauma. So there's so many benefits. People have used it in that mindset of being anxious as well as experiencing depression.
It seems like basically anything that you're going through, anxiety, separation, adoption, all of that, I think that the reason I believe that it can help some, not a hypnotist, but I know if what's in our subconscious mind, uh, you know, surface and impact our consciousness. So if we can get to the depth of that, seem like whatever that we're dealing with, I believe, hypnotherapy can really help with that. Number one, it makes you aware and it stops the fight, as you said,
Right.
when something new is introduced. Here's something good that can benefit you, but you got this
Hmm.
thing saying, you ain't never been happy before. You better go somewhere and sit down. And you know you're miserable. You know you lived that. This has been your life.
Yep.
So it
Hmm.
fights against that new thing. It's like like
Right.
your computer. You know how that virus, when something come in to attack it grabs it.
Yes.
Listen, you guys, that's what
It,
this thing
that's that
does.
critical mind. Yep. Hmm.
Yes.
Yes. And we may have people listening too, and who are wanting to be authors, but they're struggling with procrastination or even with, the mental blocks of how do I start with writing? That could be something with their subconscious mind that's holding them back from, you know, being able to start a book. So that's another, that could also help in that way too.
And couldn't it also be the start of anything if that subconscious is telling you that you have never done anything, this ain't for you, who you think you are, you're on the wrong side of the track. This subconscious mind, it's like
Yes,
it's there. It's like it's talking to you. That's how it's like it's saying, "Wait, hold up,
it is. Hmm.
it's the gatekeeper. Where you going?"
Yes.
Laura,
Hmm.
go ahead and ask your
Yes.
question.
And that's the whole thing.
Okay. Hi, Amina. I was telling Dr. Milligan how I
Hi.
engaged with hypnosis, but I was doing it myself. But it really got me to that healing place
Yeah.
from childhood abuse. And I was telling her I'm at a point now where I think I'm experiencing this hurdle going into the next transformation. I've done a lot of self work, and I'm just finding that my weight won't let go. And I have come to the conclusion that it's emotion. I think that I've packed so much emotion in my body that that's how it's manifested itself. So my question was, and I'm pretty sure you do work with something like that with, emotions. But also, what does a session with what would it look like? Like, if you can tell, or it might be individual, I don't know. But I'm
Yeah.
very interested, and I will be contacting.
Yeah.
But I wanted to know, like, what am I gonna,
Okay. Yeah. No. Say that again.
what am I going to experience? I guess is my question with the
Okay.
And
session.
So
what does it
when it comes
cost? And someone had
and
asked,
what does it? Okay.
what is your initial session of evaluation?
So when it comes, so every session is different. So since you're asking about weight loss, so for weight loss, I have a package. So the package is $550 for everything. So it's not something that you have to keep coming every week and paying $550 for it. So how I like to tell people when as it relates to weight loss is a lifelong journey. It's not something that you just wake up and just be like, okay, that's it. No, it's something that you have to work on often. And when there's different things that I give, and every week is different. So I like to see clients once a week. Sometimes it's not always like that, but I always like to work with the clients to know, okay, well, this week may not work. We'll move to the next week. So things can work. We work on is sleep, things like inner childhood healing, your eating habits, whether as far as walking, things that you like to do as far as movement. Not saying that you have to go aggressive and do like a whole HIIT workout or anything, but it's figuring out the things that you like to do. What is your goal, whether it's a dress, what does that dress look like for you, even down to the scent. If it's a perfume that you like. I like to get people in the mindset of what it looks like for them to be at their goal weight, their size. And if someone wants to lose over 25 pounds, I always ask the client to get a doctor's approval because I want them to know that we're in this together and for them to be aware of this is what your client, your patient is working on. So I don't have patients, I have clients because I'm not licensed, but I'm certified to work with people. And so I like to get information in regards to possible food recommendations that the doctor would like to give so that we can work on if it's medications. Some people are diabetic. Like my mom, she was taking the pills. So she had to continue to take her pills while working with me. So I do like to say that is something that I take pride in, is what are the doctor's recommendations if they do have any. And so it's just really just working week by week. One week may be different. We may work on sleep. We may work on resistance. You may be experiencing some resistance or because sometimes when we reach a moment where we are scared of growth or even fear of growth, we kind of get to a place where that critical mind is like, wait, I'm comfortable right here. We good right here. We're not
What
going nowhere else because in our mind, this is where we're at.
and that subconscious mind is
So
talking. Where you going, Laura? Where you think you're going, girl?
yes,
You better sit down.
I'm going, Dr. Milligan. I'm going. I'm gonna get there.
Laura is working on
so
is
I hope that answered. I hope I know wasn't too long-winded, but I hope that answers your question.
Yeah,
It
Laura
does.
is presenting a new book, and it's really going to be awesome. She is a personal coach, and I love what I read about her, so I think it would do you good to have. Now, can is there a initial cost just for a consultation?
No, all consultations are free. They're 20 minutes, and they're always free.
Okay.
And it's a phone call too. So all of my sessions are based online, but on Wednesdays I have the opportunity to. Dr. Milligan is allowing me to use her office on Wednesdays
Absolutely.
when it's permitted. So,
Absolutely. Okay, any other question? You know, Jamal was saying, how come men don't
Hello.
get on here? So look, we do have a man. I'm gonna see if Ron gonna open that mic and tell us something. Linda, go ahead, hon.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Linda. I don't have a question. I just have a comment.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going through a divorce. I'm um, I'm getting a new job, so I'm having a lot of anxieties and experiencing things that weren't normal to me. And this happened last week. So my chest was hurting. I was a little nauseated. I was having like headaches and stuff like that. So what I didn't call my doctor. I didn't call 911. I called Aminah Henderson. And actually I texted her and she was so concerned. She was like, call me now. I was like, no. I mean, I'm at work. I deal with special needs children every day. So I asked her, "What can I do?" She was immediately. I mean, I can how she just sounds so calm, and I can just hear her calmness through her texts and everything she told me to do. I did it, and I don't know if I can tell you what you told me, but
yes, yes,
oh,
you can.
okay. She was telling me to hold I think it was the right hand or the left hand, to hold one hand on my chest and one on my stomach, and to repeat some affirmations while taking deep breaths. And I think she told me I think 5 times. And I did it. And she said, do this all day and drink cold water. Right, Mina?
Yes,
Okay. So, I mean, maybe 10, 15 minutes later, my panic attack, my anxieties left. I was calm. I was sitting down and I was able to enjoy the rest of the day. Um, just, just saying those things to myself, and my chest pain, it resided. So I just want to thank you. I didn't have to call the doctor. Those simple things those tools were
you're
very, very
welcome.
useful. Very, very useful. I appreciate it.
That is incredible because most
You're
people
so
think
welcome.
everything happens. They want a pill. I want a pill to get up.
Mm-hmm.
I need a pill to lay down. I need a pill to stay awake. I need a pill to go to the bathroom. We just pill, pill, pill. And I think one of the reasons that I wanted to bring Amina to the show, because I wanted people to understand the different methodologies they can use to heal themselves physically and emotionally, because there's so much emotion tied into people's lives right now, particularly right now. People are concerned about their families who may not have food to eat, and they're concerned, well, I can't feed them. I can barely feed my own family. So now the person who in need is going through anxiety, and the person who wants to help is going through anxiety. So folks, we're in a real mess right now. So I'm telling you, don't put nothing above your health. If you have to cut out uh, what's in the kitchen, my father always taught me one thing you can cut out and reduce. We can save money in the kitchen. That's one place we can save money. And I would rather change what I'm eating and get help that can put me in a mental state of being, because you're more productive when you're mentally stable. So whatever you have to do, I strongly suggest that you have a session. Try hypnotic. Just try that therapy. No, we're not asking you to put up your house, sell your car. We're just saying, see if there's something else that can help you reach your goal and to feel better. It's amazing how fast your time is going. We'll take another question. Brenda, where are you? Brenda's so quiet. Where's my baby, Brenda? Okay, Brenda, what you got to say?
Good morning, everybody. First of all, this information has been very enlightening. I find it very interesting just to have another tool in our toolbox to use to not only survive this madness that we're in, but to thrive in it. I have so many family members right now that are dealing with some sort of illness. Most of it comes from immunal type of situations. I had an ALS person in my family, a sister who passed away. I have a brother who's dealing with Parkinson's disease. I have a mother who's been diagnosed with cancer. I have another niece that's dealing with multiple sclerosis. So I'm dealing with a lot of things in my family that are catastrophic. And the thing that I have seen for the most part is everybody's running to the doctor and the doctors have no answers. They keep giving pills. They keep giving surgical procedures as suggestions, but none of these people seem to be getting any better. And so I think that whether it's hypnosis or prayer, whatever it is that we need that can help us get through the situation without putting so many toxic things into our bodies, because when you're dealing with medications, you're also dealing with its side effects. And that may work with that condition in a good way and it may not. But because the people feel that's all that they have, that's what they're leaning towards. And so, when I hear hypnosis being another way of dealing with our minds, I say, let's do whatever it takes to be healed, because I think that that's what God wants for us, to be well. Right. That's correct.
Thank you. Aminah, you want to close us out? We have 3 minutes left. You guys, Aminah's phone number and website, everything is in the chat. Aminah, just go ahead and give your telephone number out, even though it's in the chat.
Okay.
Let them know how they can reach you.
Let's see. Hold on 1 second. So it is 323-371-6909. And my email is info@hypnovibeswithamina.com.
Okay, and if you forget that, you can always reach out to my office or call me at 213-400-6521. 213-400-6521. Jamal said a man is not going to get on this show. I think we have a man up in here, so come on. Let Jamal know that he doesn't have all the answers. Do we have a man in the house?
Sometimes it takes a little minute for them to warm up.
Well, at least we got one that got on, so we hope that we've said something to help each and every one of you. And Aminah, I want to thank you so much. And this show will be posted on YouTube for those that you want to get to hear it. Because I'm telling you, please, you all, do yourself a favor and really get acquainted with how your subconscious mind works and your conscious mind. I'm telling you, it will help you through your daily life. When you begin to understand that, it'll help you better understand yourself, understand why you're probably doing what you're doing, and what you can do to stop doing what you're doing or to start doing what you need to be doing. Okay? That somebody they're throwing heart sign, love signs up, saying that they really enjoyed the show. Throw it in the chat. Throw it in the chat. If Aminah really did help you, just put it in the chat. Laura, you
Yes.
had a question? I see Laura's hand went up.
No, that was an applause
Thumb
clap.
up. Okay,
Uh,
great. Aminah, you want to give us some closing thoughts?
Yes, I want to just say that I appreciate everybody for coming and listening, the questions that you asked. If there's any concerns, or even if it's just questions in regards to how a session would go for a particular issue that you're experiencing, I'll be happy to assist you in any way. No question is a bad question, because we all, we all are in this together. So I'll be happy to help.
Okay, that's great. And Aminah, I would be out of my office, let's see, from the 5th through the 9th. So you are welcome to see clients in my office the rest of that week, any day.
Okay, thank you. And thank
Oh,
you, Dr. Milligan.
you're so welcome. Okay, you guys, again, I want to thank you. The clock on the wall said that's all. Same time next week. Always stay tuned to Express Yourself Hour, where you're going to always get straight talk. You guys have a great day as you
Yes.
go on your way, and you'll be able to refer your friends and relatives to listen to this on YouTube next week. Have a great day. Aminah, thank you so much. I'll definitely be making an appointment with you.
Thank you.